Imagine your Pa and Ma Ingalls in your little house in the big woods. Your closest neighbors are a farm away. You have to walk to their house. You don't know what they're doing every minute of every day. You write a letter to your friends, and you wait days, potentially weeks, until you get a response. You work around the house. You work in the house. You work with the seasons. Imagine that life. I think today we have too much access to social media, too much access to seeing what other people are doing, and too much time outside of the home. So I want to think about what it would look like to make home literally our most important place to be. Okay, friends, I had an entirely different video planned today, an update 2 months into my fitness journey, my anti-all or nothing weight loss journey. But then I sat down and had my quiet time. My babysitter came, and I was able to sit and relax and rest for a moment. And now I have an entirely new video on my heart. So here we are. We are going to be talking about home today. And if you're new here, I am a wife, a mom to 2 toddlers. I'm an accountability coach, and I'm also a photographer. And I started this YouTube channel to have a space for myself, and hopefully you can come to rest, can come to learn about ways to slow down, to learn that hustle is not always the answer, that go big or go home doesn't have to be the only path we take. I believe in the magic, in the messy middle, and that sometimes this journey we're on is much more important than the finish line. This little corner of the internet is about me sharing tips and reflections with you to hopefully encourage you to also slow down, be kinder to yourselves, and gentler with your goals in a society and a world where bigger and better and more is pushed at us so often. And that is how we got to this video today, because we have been very busy. I mentioned that in my last video, and I've been doing a lot, and there have been a lot of playdates, and I've been feeling a lot of pressure now that fall is here to build the perfect leaf pile that my kids can jump into, to go get pumpkins so we can carve jack-o'-lanterns, to figure out what we're doing for Halloween, to do leaf prints like my mom used to do with me, to take nature walks and go to every fall festival, to start planning Thanksgiving. And are we going to get turkey decorations? And then Christmas is coming. And what are we doing about Christmas presents this year? And who are we going to see? And what family is going to be in town? And how do we plan out the next 12 weeks and make them so fun and full of holiday cheer that my kids end this year thinking that was the best season ever? But that's too much, isn't it? I'm out of my house too much. I want to be like the Little House in the Big Woods. If you've never read Little House on the Prairie, you should. It was one of my favorite books to read as a kid. And now my daughter is reading the picture book version of Little House in the Big Woods. And I just was struck by the simplicity of it at bedtime the other night, where Ma and Pa are working in the house and around the house. And when a season changes, their friends come in and they come to visit and then they leave. But every mundane daily task is not boring to them. It's an integral part of their routine and their life. And as I sat this morning in the quiet for one moment, I realized that I've been treating home more like a drop zone instead of my safe landing place. And I want to change that, because with my kids, it's hard. My daughter is an extrovert and loves to see other people, loves to play with other kids. She wakes up asking, who are we going to see today? Where are we going to go? And that's just part of her personality. But my son is a true introvert like me. He will get to a playground and within 15 to 20 minutes say, I want to go home. Can we go home now? So I have to find a balance between the two of them that also works with me and my rhythm. and this is just me conjecturing, I think that having complete access to the world is doing us a disservice. I think it's straining us. I think, especially as moms, it is adding onto our mental load. And I want to challenge all of us to step back from that for a moment and think about what life would be if we were home more. I know this is impossible for everyone. I know that you might work a job and your husband works a job, that your kids might have after school activities, there might be sports on the weekend, and all of that is good as long as your kid is happy and you are not overwhelmed and stressed. Because sometimes I think we are told that we have to pack our schedules. And even with me going on social media or just the internet in general, I'm being served ads for things like The Little Chef, where you can bake these creations with your kids, or what is it, Crafts with Kelsey or something, where you're getting craft boxes that are seasonally appropriate so you can do fun things with your kids. And so the ads, the other parents, the Pinterest posts, they're all pushing me to be a mom who does more. And I have to repeatedly bring myself back to this being my soft season. It's not always about slow living, but sometimes I need that. I need that reminder that there are people out there living like Pa and Ma Ingalls. Well, I love the advancements in technology, and I love that we have heat and cooling and don't have to sleep with our windows open at night with the bugs coming in to get a fresh breeze. I also love the idea that they just existed in their own bubble at home, that their kids knew home was where they wanted to be, that trips to the town to go to the store were adventures instead of, yeah, of course we go to a pumpkin patch every weekend because it's fall. I don't want my kids thinking that home is just where they drop their shoes and their jackets and get sleep. I want them feeling like this is their safe place to land. This is their place to reset. My husband can come home from work to calm. I can relax here and have peace and control over the rhythms in our family. And all of this is heavy on my heart because I feel the pressure to go do all the fall crafts, to plan the perfect holidays, to go to all the adventures out there. But if we didn't have social media and we couldn't just pull up our phone and look for whatever festival is coming this weekend, where's the next carnival, we would just be home. We might just take a lazy drive instead and come across a tag sale on a Saturday. I love doing that with my dad. And I was just talking to a friend about how nice that was to just leave the house and drive around and follow little poster boards that said tag sale this way. But now I look on Facebook Marketplace. I don't go to tag sales. I don't drive by lemonade stands quite as much. But all of these things that were fun for me as a kid, I fear I'm missing that with my own kids because we're doing too much other stuff that I'm feeling pressured to do. I don't want to chase what the world tells me I should do. I don't want to chase being the perfect mother or the perfect parent or the extrovert, even though I'm truly an introvert, because I opened my phone and saw an event that I feel like I have FOMO about if I don't go. I have a book called The Joy of Missing Out, and I have not yet read it. And I'm feeling right now like I really need to read it. Because what a joy it would be to not feel that pressure, to wake up and know that today we're going to be home. And I do personally love being home, but I feel guilty when I'm home. And I don't like that. So if you're feeling guilty about being home, how about you and I commit to staying home a little bit more on purpose, without guilt or shame? If you're out of the house working all week, do you really want to spend your weekends being gone all weekend? Or do you want to be home, relaxing, spending time in the little world that you've created for your family? If your kids have after school activities every day, do you really need to pack more activities into the weekend? So if you have not been given the permission to slow down and to stay home, this is your permission. I think we have lost a part of society that knew that the family who was at home knew best for their family. We innately have a sense of what our family needs. And I think if we have too much outside pressure, we can't listen to that innate sense. We can't hear that because there's always going to be something more to be doing. There's always going to be something more to buy. There's always somewhere to go. So what if we challenge ourselves, especially in the season of holidays, to stay home? I know this might be a divisive opinion, and you might love going out. You might also be an extrovert. But I challenge you to think about your family as a whole unit. How often are you out of your house? Does it feel like a place you just come for dinner and sleep? Can we change that? Just try it out and see how it feels. I know as I reflected on it this morning before coming to film this video, that it gave me peace to say you have permission to stay home, to not book out all your weekends. Obviously, I already have things on the calendar. I'm a photographer and I have an engagement shoot next weekend. I have a shoot this weekend. I have mini sessions the weekend after. But during the week, I'm not going to be booking playdates every day for my kids. I'm going to find a balance between my introverted son and my extroverted daughter, where we get out and do fun things and we relax. And it's great to fill our cup with other moms. But I'm also going to have a few days where I challenge them to get bored at home. Yesterday, we were home all day and they found the pipe cleaners and they redecorated my son's room with pipe cleaners. We were going to go out. We were going to run errands. I was going to go to Once Upon a Child and exchange some clothes to get them some fall shoes. And I just felt like in the morning, my daughter woke up a bit emotional, having a hard time, and I felt like we needed to stay home. And I'm so glad I listened to that because she had a great day. By the end of the day, she was back to her normal self, pretty much by midday. But I think if I had rushed out in the morning and put more stuff on them and tried to get them to go places and do things and see people, then maybe by bedtime she would have been more emotional, more drained, and I would have been too. So I think every once in a while, it's okay that we go through a busy season, but I'd love to find pockets of time to stay home without guilt. I think if we do one fall festival, that's fine. I think if we carve jack-o'-lanterns one night and we make the pile of leaves to jump in, or it happens naturally while my kids are outside, then that's great. If I have a day where we're having a great day and we find a bunch of beautiful leaves and we want to do leaf prints, then that's great. But I don't need to give them a fall craft every day. I don't need to decorate my whole house from top to bottom to match each season. Because right now, I am being softer with myself, kinder to myself, gentler with my goals. And so I'm going to do what's necessary for my family. And I think right now, that's being home more. That is bringing us back to Little House on the Prairie days where we are home. We do not know what everyone around us is doing at all times. We are disconnected from our phones and we focus on what is important here. What are your family values? What is the culture around your family? Do you have traditions that you're building at home? Take a moment to reflect on these things. And if you've never done that, now is a great time to start. Your kids may be little, they may be out of the house. Doesn't really matter because home is whoever is living in it. And even if it's just you and your husband and you're finding me in this little corner of the internet, I'm happy to have you here. So a little bit of a shorter video. And again, just something that was on my heart this morning, but I'm feeling convicted to share with you in this off season that we can have permission to stay home. We don't have to feel guilty about it. And maybe we should actually embrace it a little bit more. I would love to disconnect to the point where I don't know what anybody is doing. That is not possible in this day and age. But I do believe that the mundane can be magical. And if we let ourselves slow down enough to let mundane things happen, that we won't find it's boring, but we'll actually find that it enriches our lives. I've seen it happen a few times, and I'm excited to see it happen more this season. So thanks for being with me today. Feel free to comment down below if you are going to take a few more mundane moments in your life at home. And in the meantime, you can find me over at Coach KNAS on Instagram or Last KNAS if you want to see my photos. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.